Hey, what is up guys? So if you didn't know, we actually have different card artworks, meaning the art on the card is actually different in the TCG versus the OCG. Now here you're seeing the Dark Magician Girl in the TCG, and here's what it looks like in the OCG. Usually what the differences are religious symbols and cleavage or anything that is too revealing. But I want to share some of the more obscure ones, some of the ones you might not have seen, and other just like funny random stuff with you guys. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So the first one is the Great Long Nose. Check out that guy's massive nose. That thing is big and bright, and it is huge. But here's how we decided to change it in the TCG. Now this is the OCG artwork. Here's the TCG. It was too spooky for us here in the TCG. We had to make it look like a beak over there. Dude, that nose is just so long. And what's funny is they actually kept that hat in. I was actually thinking they were going to remove that hat because, like, oh, maybe people would think it's some kind of racism thing due to the yarmulke. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm surprised they kept that in. But again, it's just more kind of obscure things that you might not have noticed. But anyways, here is Gimmick Puppet Shadow Feeler here in the TCG in the gold rarity, and here's what it actually looks like in the OCG. I knew this card looked funny when it came out because I'm like, what the heck, it's center, it just doesn't make any sense at all. Why are they connecting like that? And then it makes much more sense. I don't know why they decided to do that. I don't know if it was maybe too scary or anything like that, but they decided to go ahead and change it over in the TCG. Anyways, here's Mad Lobster here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on it so you guys can see it. Apparently this card was too spooky, so they actually had to swap it over. Here's what it looks like in the OCG zoomed in, and you can see the difference in the TCG. Apparently they changed its mouth. It still looks like pretty much the same to me. It's just funny that they're like, wow, this card is too scary, guys. We gotta tone it down for them kids. Zoom out a little basically in the artwork, and also they changed the mouth area. Next up, this one's actually kind of interesting. Here's Mystic Tomato in the TCG, and here it is in the OCG. Apparently this was too scary, so they wanted to change it. And I felt like, to me, this looks much more scary. This looks much more psychedelic, demonic. It's got the like neon colors in the background. It definitely looks a lot more crazy than this card over here. This is the OCG one over here, like the simple one, and then the psychedelic one. This one looks like it's on drugs, straight up. So, I don't know, the art team, they're like, let's make it less spooky, but they totally made it more spooky. Let me know, guys, which one do you think is more spooky? Because I honestly think this one is really, like, not as spooky. Like, the psychedelic one, too scary for me. Next up is the Psychokinesis is the name of this card. And they actually changed the pants. And I was like, come on. We can't even have legs of cyborg people? And, like, usually, like I said, it has to do with, like, artwork or things that are too revealing. But the thing is, like, they kept in those Dark Magician Girl legs, but on the Psychokinesis, they're like, nah, we gotta change that. Too revealing. Next up with the Slate Warrior. So, here's what it looks like in the OCG. And here's what it looks like in the TCG. I thought it had to do with something religious, but I looked it up and I couldn't find anything that was similar to the symbol other than the Protoss symbol from StarCraft. And I was like, what the heck is this? Maybe someone in the comment section below can answer why they actually had to flip these Slate Warriors. They don't even look like boobs. I mean, it's got like a magnet like floating. I don't know what the heck is on its head. But anyways, I don't know why they decided to change, like, the nipple orientation. I don't know if that was, like I said, some religious symbol or something like that. But they decided to flip the nipples. Next up, this was a card called Taunt. And we went from... Look, this is the craziest one. Like, this artwork, it went from this to this. I don't know how they decided this is the same card. Like, it went to, like, Fist of the North Star with questionable makeup on the guy's eyeshadow on the right with his, like, purple eyeshadow to... I don't know, this is Rocco's Modern Life, like, that's completely different. I don't know why they changed this. Perhaps we're like, oh, it looks like Fight Club. But there's so many cards that are like, you know, there with ripped muscles. But nonetheless, that was an interesting artwork design that they went for. Like I said, it's completely different. Next up, this is a card that I think a lot of you guys are familiar with. And that is Vanity's Emptiness. And it's strange that they decided to literally just take away the card and make it completely empty in the center. I mean, it's like a bear. It's just fur. Like, there's nothing there. Like, why did they have to censor that? I don't know. When I first saw this card, for the longest time, I thought that it was like a guy's head in front of, like, a curtain. But it actually is a guy's cape in the background, and they actually just censored his fur out completely. Like, I don't know why they needed to censor out the bear, but nonetheless, it's there, and I thought it was interesting to share with you guys. Next up, this card is called Blot Cancel. Here's what it looks like in the OCG. Apparently, it's like too violent. I don't know. It's got like flower panties. I'm pretty sure this is an Ojama, that it's actually shocking. And here's what it looks like in the TCG. Like an X with a lightning bolt? Come on, that's getting really lazy. Like, what's wrong with this? Like, they could have, I don't know, removed the underwear if they were really afraid of that. But nonetheless, I like the idea, like the walk cancel, like you getting shocked. That makes much more sense than, oh no, a lightning bolt with the X over it. I don't know. I just thought, again, it was one of those like interesting artwork choices. And here's an interesting one. Here's it's a card called Worm Apocalypse. And here's what it looks like in the OCG. And here's the artwork in the TCG. Could you even tell the difference? They changed the shade of the color by like a few hues. And that they kind of gave them underwear. It's like, they're like worm people. Like, why? Why do the worm people, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the commercial for Happy Hot Dog Man, but like, it's like a hot dog with arms. Why does it need underwear? It just was like, that's actually like an alternate artwork. Really, I thought that was kind of funny that they semi-censored, they added underwear to the hot dog. Next up, this is pretty interesting over here. This is a card called the Absolute, it's just Absolute N. And it's got, is it Go Ga 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 Go? One of those guys. I don't know, there's like 50 versions of that card. This card is actually one of the cards that sees the most, like, he's in the most amount of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the green guy over there. In the TCG, they decided we gotta add a loincloth over here. Like, a really, like, it doesn't even show, like, the outline of his butt. It was just like, you know what, we gotta go ahead and censor that. And I was like, wow, really? Because what's funny is they censor a lot of the girl stuff, but once you see some of the guy stuff, which we'll get into later, you'll be like, what the heck, Konami? Anyways, here's Abyss Scorn, or Scorn in the OCG. And here's what it looks like in the TCG. And, like, you might not even notice the difference, because I was like, what the heck, they actually changed that? Where? I was looking at the cleavage, because they will also reduce the size of breasts. Maybe they actually like lollies. I don't know. I was like, maybe if that's the route they're going, I give them a thumbs up for like reducing breast size. But actually, what they did here, I can zoom in a little bit so you guys can maybe get a better look at this. They actually removed the belly button and they put armor over it. They're like, you know what? The belly button too revealing for me. I'm like, are you serious? We can't even show belly buttons in the TCG. Apparently, that's too revealing for us. Like, I'm sure we could all handle that. Anyways, next up we have this card called Amazon of the Seas. And again, a lot of times they reduce the breast size in here. Could you even tell the difference? It was another one of those cards where I had to like look there for a second and actually see. I mean, obviously when you go back and forth like this, it's much easier to see than when you put them side by side. It takes a while for me, because maybe I have bad eyes. Anyways, they actually just added a bra strap in the back end as well as like in the front. And it's just like, you didn't even reduce the breast size. Like, what's the difference? Like, it shows pretty much the same. I guess if you have a back fetish, sorry man, they completely ruined your day over there. Alright, next up, this one is actually pretty funny, because again, like I mentioned before, they censor a lot of the girl stuff. So, here's the card in the OCG. This card is Archfiend, Emperor of the First Lord of Horror. That name is so long, man. Anyways, so here's what it looks like in the OCG. Let me just take a second. I'll zoom in on it. Tell me if you guys can see anything that is like just unacceptable. And at first I thought like, oh, it's usually the horns that they remove. Here's what the card actually looks like in the TCG. Can you guys even really see anything that's like really vaguely like bad? Again, they do things because of religious, but I'm surprised they kept the horns on the kneecaps. You can see that they've kept the horns on that. Again, they removed like a lot of these horns on anything because they don't want it to be associated with like demonic things. But what they did, they actually changed. Oops, they changed the crotch area. They got rid of the little circle. I didn't understand why. That didn't even look like bad at all to me. I don't know if it's some religious or pagan thing. Let me know in the comment sections below if there actually is something that's related to that. I don't know if this is supposed to be specifically anyone maybe that is religious or in some type of different text, but for the most part, I don't understand why they changed that. But have you guys seen Dark Lucius? I don't know, look at his crotch. Do you guys see anything? Is that like a metal dick, man? This guy is too strong. I like the artwork on this guy. He looks pretty awesome, but dude, he's got armor on his dick, man. He is ready to go. It doesn't matter what disease she has. He has himself protected. That is Dark Lucius level 8. That's pretty awesome. I guess they just slipped that one by, man. Next up, we got Baby Tarragon, or Tarragon. Anyways, here's what it looks like. Apparently, this is too scary. I was looking at it, I was like, what? Did they actually change this artwork? And the answer is yes. It's a little baby, I don't know if it's a cat, what is it? I don't know. But nonetheless, they removed the little spikes on its head. It's like, really, that's too scary for us? Who can't handle this? I gotta know, Konami. Like, that's a joke. Like, why did they remove the horns? I don't know. Next up, this one's actually kind of interesting. So here's what it looks like in the OCG. This is Battery Man Fuel Cell here in the OCG. Here's what it looks like in the TCG. Now, you'll see the difference they did was on the buttons. I actually don't mind this one, but it's kind of interesting that they changed this because if you notice the knobs, there's one that's blue and then there is one that is yellow. Now, over here, there's an H and there's an O. The H actually stands for a Henry, which is a unit of inductance. So I don't know why they actually decided to change it. It's just an electrical thing. I don't know if... I mean, it does kind of say Ho, but it's just like, it's an electronic component. Like, that was just kind of interesting. I thought that they're like trying to be really safe on some stuff. Next up, though, we got... This one is like one of my favorites. I don't understand this one at all. Okay, so this one is Worm Prince, right? Here's what it looks like in the OCG. If anything, I was thinking, oh, the horns, right? That's what they're going to change. Maybe the mouth. There's a card that we'll get into, like, later. There's so many, like, obscure cards. But anyways, the mouth, it kind of looks like maybe like a bottomless trap hole, you know. But you'll be surprised what they actually changed on this, because I was like, okay, what the heck did they change? I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. And they removed the hot dog people. If you guys remember before, they added the underwear on them. They removed them. Like, why? Are they too spooky? Like, their arms going up, spooky, scary. Like, I don't understand why they moved those little, like, hot dog people in the background. Like, that was the funniest. I legit cracked up for so long when I saw this, because again, hold on, you guys need to watch the Happy Hot Dog Man commercial and you'll understand like what I'm talking about. But like, why did they remove them? Confirmed racist against them? Because remember, again, well, I guess they kind of added underwear, but for the most part, they just were like, you know what, I don't even want to remove the underwear, screw the Happy Hot Dog Man, we're gonna remove them. And for a bonus one in this clip, because I think that there's so many more, I just like got the tip of the iceberg in this video, because there are so many obscure ones that I gotta go through all of them and check them out, because sometimes it's a little bit hard to notice. You actually have to like read up on them. But here's one that I thought was like, wow, I can't believe that like the Japanese were like, yeah, let's do this, man. If you guys didn't see this, it looks like a lightning bolt right on his forehead and his arm. There's a symbol that is two S's right next to each other, and if you can see his hand orientation, here's what it is in the OCG. And here's what it is in the TCG. They change it to be him, like, instead of, you know, the Heil, it's actually like a one. Like, this is not just like him saying stop, like his hand is holding up and signaling to stop. It is definitely a reference. And that's kind of funny that they actually designed the card like that. But this one, I understand why they changed. Like, it totally makes sense. But some of the other ones, they're kind of more obscure. Again, that hot dog, you just watch the video and you'll laugh. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Like, confirmed Konami don't like the hot dog people. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll do more of these. Name some of the cards, artworks that you guys might know of that weren't featured in this episode. I'll be sure to try to cover them in the next one. But there's so many obscure things that we can check out. And I think this is kind of fun. It's just seeing some of the artwork changes that they decide to implement in the game. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Azneyes signing out.